What's happening, y'all? This is Andrew from Mirror Music 99, back with another Grateful Dead reaction. Now, today, we're going to do two songs that I've not only have never heard before, but I've never even heard of before. So, that's one of the reasons I chose this interpolation, actually, is because I like learning new shit, right? So, this is from Greensboro, North Carolina, on April 30th, 1981. The interpolation is from Alabama Getaway and Greatest Story Ever Told. So you guys will have to tell me whether these are dead songs, whether these are songs that are covers or whatever. So I'm not familiar with them at all. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what we have here. So here we go. Let's see what we got. It's kind of what you expect for Alabama Getaway. It's kind of a rollicking blues. That might be the most straight-ahead blues I've ever heard them play. Miss Double Time is faster, but this little country blues too. You hear lots of like Nashville-ish kind of riffs that are not horribly distant from that either. Got a little key solo. What is that? Somebody tell me what instrument that is. Sounds like a distorted violin or something. The keyboard tone is very 1980s. Did Dead and Company play this at all, ever? It seems like it'd be in John Mayer's wheelhouse, too. Okay, this is blues too. It's Chicago style though. Almost, yeah. It is Chicago, yeah. Are both of these weird? This one is, pretty clearly. I think the last one was too, though, wasn't it? As I remember, the early 80s are when they were breaking in the new keyboard player, right? It's certainly much more forward in the mix than it was in some of the 70s stuff that I've listened to recently. So one of the things that you'll know about me, because I've talked about it repeatedly on this channel, is that when I listen to songs, usually for the first time, I don't usually listen to the lyrics particularly closely. You guys are going to have to tell me why this is the greatest story ever told. I did not pay that close attention to the actual story going on here. So help me out with that. But I listen to the music first, like how the instruments interplay with each other, which is really funny actually for somebody who makes his living as an English teacher and obsessed with words and whatever. But I don't really listen to the words to start with, so you guys are gonna have to help me out with those a little bit. Traditionally speaking, like in music history or whatever, the lyrics of blues songs are not. I don't say they're not important, but they're repeated. They're not necessarily storytelling, and they're often pretty simple. So if these are songs actually that the Grateful Dead wrote and not that they're just covering from somewhere else, I would expect the lyrical content to be a little more elevated. So I'm not going to look up the lyrics right now, so you guys can tell me in the comments what that looks like. That's an interesting thing to listen to because they're both blues songs, right? Alabama Getaway and Greatest Story Ever Told are both blues or blues-based songs, but they're pulling from different traditions. The first Alabama Getaway is pulling from the 12-bar blues tradition. I guess you'd call that the Delta blues, technically, that originates with Robert Johnson and his contemporaries in the early 20th century. And it's the 1-4-5 kind of 12-bar situation. Again, I should have brought if I'd known that these songs were both in that one, I would have brought the guitar in there and actually played it out for you. And then The Greatest Story Ever Told is more a Chicago-style blues. Not quite the other end of the Mississippi, but like geographically the other end. Think of Chicago style if you don't know what it is. Blues Brothers, that's also like Bad to the Bone. I know that's not really a blues song necessarily, but the da 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 da. Right, that's Chicago style, and in a very very basic sense. So that second one, The Greatest Story Ever Told, is based on that kind of riff. It's not exactly that, but it's based on that kind of riff. And so it's interesting to hear like the two kinds of blues songs being put together. It also feels. I remember somebody told me in the comments at one point in the last month or two that Bob Weir said at one point that it took them a long time to warm up, and that's why they played shorter and perhaps maybe even faster songs near the beginning. It took them a while to kind of find the groove, so to speak, and why the second half of the show tended to be more improvisational and more out there, right? These both definitely feel like warm-ups, and they're not uninspired necessarily, but they are not surprising in the same way that I've come to expect a lot of Grateful Dead songs to be. Let me check my notes one more time. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything that I wanted to say. The Alabama Getaway, like when I talked about that being a Nashville riff, or a Nashville style of playing, it reminds me. Those long time and intensive viewers of the channel will know that I'm a huge Jennifer Nettles fan. I followed her as a musician since her days in Soul Miner's Daughter in the late '90s. So I think she's a tremendous musician. One of the early Sugarland songs, which is her like third or fourth band, is called Down in Mississippi and Up to No Good. It has that very, very much that kind of feel to it, which it seems, which makes sense. It's a Delta thing. It's Alabama, it's Mississippi. It's like all of those things kind of fit together in unison. I guess you've heard me babble enough about the blues now. It's been a fun ride today. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see y'all next time. Take care, y'all.